Have you ever felt like you're playing a role you didn't write? What happens when that mask finally becomes too heavy to carry? You're about to discover your true power.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here again to, really dig into the psychology behind our relationships and ourselves, turning complex ideas into something, well, useful. And today, we're tackling something pretty big, this idea of becoming unbreakable. But the interesting thing we found looking through our research is that the path there, it's kind of strange. It often starts with this feeling of breaking internally.
Right, but not like a painful shattering. It's more like a shedding.
Or shedding.
Yeah, like an old identity, one that doesn't fit anymore. It just falls away. You think of a snake shedding its skin. It's not destruction, it's liberation.
Okay, I like that analogy. Liberation.
That's the core of our mission today. We want to map out that journey, how you move from, let's say, needing validation from everyone else to really owning your own worth.
It's about non-attachment or desapego.
And a huge part of that seems to be untangling this massive confusion we have, mistaking genuine love for this deep emotional hunger. Oh, absolutely critical, that hunger. It leads to what we're calling living as an emotional beggar. It's this constant, exhausting search for crumbs, really.
Crumbs of affection.
Validation. Exactly, just little bits of approval from people who often can't or won't really give you what you need.
So the big shift, the thing that changes everything, is realizing you don't have to wait around hoping someone chooses you.
Precisely. That feeling of powerlessness, of waiting, it dissolves the second you grasp that you have the power. You choose. You choose your value, your path, who gets your energy.
It's from needing to choosing.
That's the foundation. That's where the unbreakable woman starts to emerge, and that's what we're going to unpack.
Okay, let's do it. But hang on, before we really dive into the deep psychology of this shift in chemical independence, we'd really appreciate your support in making more deep dives like this one. If these ideas about self-worth, non-attachment, if they're clicking for you, please take a sec to hit subscribe, maybe like this episode.
Yeah, and drop a comment below. Let us know what you're thinking already. Your engagement honestly fuels us to keep exploring these kinds of really vital psychological themes.
Okay, so let's start right there. That fundamental mistake. Confusing that deep, gnawing hunger with actual love.
Yeah.
Why is that so dangerous?
Well, it's dangerous because, like you said, that hunger feels so intense, and we automatically think intensity equals depth equals real love. But it's desperation masquerading as passion.
And the sources describe it as coming from this place of having an empty chest. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, it's this constant ache, a need for someone outside you to confirm you exist, that you matter, that you're lovable. If you haven't built that sense of worth inside,
Then you need it from others, like oxygen.
exactly, it becomes a survival need, not just a preference. Your whole psychological stability feels like it depends on getting that external hit.
Which leads to those low standards we talked about, the crumbs analogy.
Right. If you're truly starving, anything looks good, doesn't it? A tiny scrap feels like a feast. If you're dying of thirst, a muddy puddle looks like salvation.
So you tolerate treatment, relationships, situations that you wouldn't even consider if you felt internally full.
Precisely. You accept the crumbs because that feeling of lack inside convinces you that's all there is, or maybe all you deserve. You literally can't tell the difference between genuine, nourishing love and, manipulation or just basic attention.
Because the need is just too loud.
It overrides everything. The transformation starts. Well, it starts when a woman finds a way to feed herself internally, when she discovers her own source, her own spring of self-worth.
And that must change your energy, right? Instantly.
Oh, fundamentally, everything shifts. She stops being this vacuum trying to suck energy and validation in.
And starts overflowing instead.
Exactly. She starts overflowing. The energy changes from begging for love to being loved, radiating it. Because she's got her own supply now, it's sustainable.
That distinction feels key. Dependence versus sovereignty.
It's the core distinction.
But you mentioned earlier, and the sources really stress this isn't like flipping a switch, is it? You don't just read a book and decide, okay, I'm sovereign now.
Oh, heavens no. If only. It's described more like a silent revolution. Something that starts deep down, maybe even on a cellular level.
After years of maybe not being true to yourself.
Often years, even decades, of what the sources call self-betrayal. You realize you've been living like an actress.
Playing a part.
Yeah, reading lines someone else wrote. Trying to be the woman your family or society or your partner expects you to be.
And the mask, the costume,
Yeah.
it doesn't come off because you consciously decide to take it off?
Not usually. It drops because it just gets too damn heavy. The effort of pretending, of constantly managing other people's perceptions, it becomes unbearable. Physically, emotionally.
It's exhaustion then.
It's exhaustion. It's your soul finally saying, enough, I can't do this anymore. I'd rather be messy and real than perfect and fake. You know, those little betrayals. Saying yes when you mean no. Downplaying your successes.
Always putting others' comfort first.
Right. Until you just can't.
So when that mask finally drops, when the performance stops, the sources talk about finding real power in that raw state, in emotional nakedness.
Yes. Because when you stop acting and just start being, something incredible happens. Your body kind of wakes up. It becomes this highly tuned
Precision instrument.
a precision emotional instrument. Yeah, it's like your internal navigation system finally gets switched on fully. It starts instantly telling you what's good for you and what isn't.
Before your head catches up, give us some examples of that. How does that feel?
Okay, think about that immediate clench in your gut when someone starts talking and you just feel drained instantly.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Or walking into a room and feeling your energy just contract around a certain person.
Yeah.
Or that sinking feeling when, somehow that you're expected to shrink yourself, to be smaller in a situation.
Without even thinking about it logically.
Exactly. The body knows. The body sends the signal danger or retreat or not right long before your mind starts trying to rationalize or talk you out of it.
Which makes so much sense because we're so often taught to ignore those signals, aren't we? To push through the discomfort.
We are absolutely conditioned to numb those signals. Call it anxiety, call it being difficult, call it selfish. We learn to override that inner whisper that says, hey, this isn't okay.
Or this person drains you.
Right. We use work or food or scrolling, anything, to silence that internal wisdom. The big shift happens when you decide to honor those signals. Treat them as sacred.
In that act of honoring them, that's self-love, not bubble baths, but boundary setting.
That's radical self-love, exactly. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's essential, it's drawing a line. When you get to that place of inner sovereignty, some things just become non-negotiable.
Like what?
Like, your peace isn't for sale, your well-being isn't up for debate, your core essence isn't something you trade for a bit of attention. And when you truly embody that, your relationships have to change.
And it happens kind of automatically, like a natural filtering. You don't have to go around kicking people out.
It's more like changing your frequency. When you start radiating wholeness, self-respect, well, it's like tuning a radio.
Okay.
People who resonate with that new frequency, who genuinely value you, they're drawn closer. And those who are plugged into the old frequency, the one based on neediness or manipulation or taking advantage, they just naturally drift away.
Because there's no energetic match anymore.
Exactly. The connection shorts out. It's energetic coherence. The draining stuff falls away. The nourishing stuff comes closer. It's just physics in a way.
Okay, this brings us straight into the brain chemistry. When someone's operating from that place of need, that attachment, it sounds like their whole system is tuned to someone else's station.
That's a great way to put it. You're essentially letting your internal state be dictated by external events you can't control. It's pure emotional chaos.
A roller coaster.
Totally. Your self-worth goes up with a nice text, down with a delayed reply. Your peace depends on their mood. You have zero control. And this isn't just unpleasant. It puts your brain into constant low-grade survival mode.
Let's dig into that neuroscience.
Yeah.
How does living from that place of need actually affect the nervous system?
Well, you're basically living in your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response. Your brain starts seeing the relationship itself as a potential threat zone.
Hypervigilance.
Constant hypervigilance. An unanswered message isn't just annoying, it registers as abandonment, a threat to your supply. A change in tone feels like an attack, silence feels like impending doom. You're swimming in cortisol and adrenaline.
Wow, so even when things are calm, your body is braced for impact. And that sets up the addiction cycle you mentioned.
Perfectly. The relationship, or rather the validation from the relationship, becomes the drug. You get that dopamine hit, the reward chemical, when the affection or attention comes through.
The text, the compliment.
Right. And when it's withheld, boom, withdrawal, anxiety, panic, craving. And this cycle hammers home the false belief. I need this person, this external source, to feel okay, to even function.
So the escape route has to be
Yeah.
chemical independence, learning to generate that well-being internally.
That's the pivot. That's when the brain literally starts to rewire itself. You shift from that cortisol-fueled sympathetic state to activating the parasympathetic nervous system, rest, digest, repair.
Calming down the system.
Exactly. And the brain remembers, oh, wait, I know how to make my own feel-good chemicals, serotonin, endorphins. It starts producing them sustainably through self-care, boundaries, self-respect. You stop relying on borrowed, erratic fuel.
And build your own internal power play.
Beautifully put, yes.
And the sources say this shift creates a genuinely magnetic presence. Not fake confidence, but something real.
Because it is real, it's biological. You're no longer emitting that subtle or not so subtle energy of needing something from others. You're just complete. And that inherent stability, that self-sufficiency, it's deeply attractive. It radiates peace.
And it shows up physically too, right? Almost immediately.
It's often visible before you even realize it consciously. The body stops begging, the posture changes, the back straightens, shoulders relax.
The gaze becomes more direct.
Yes. The voice gets firmer, calmer. It's not forced confidence, it's felt security. It's physiological, your neurochemistry has changed.
It's like you stop living all crunched up.
Exactly. So many people, especially women, spend years physically contracting themselves, making themselves smaller, quieter, less. Too much.
So they don't scare someone off or bother anyone.
Right. Trying not to disrupt the source of potential validation. When you achieve that internal independence, you finally give yourself permission to take up space, your full space. No apologies needed.
Okay, so when a woman really owns that space, embodies that inner sovereignty, she just naturally becomes incompatible with toxic stuff, right? It's like a built-in repellent.
We call it natural repellence. Her energy, her standards, they've shifted. She's just not available anymore for the drama, the manipulation, the emotional games that maybe she tolerated before.
So toxic dynamics just bounce off.
Pretty much. Anything that doesn't meet that new, higher vibrational standard just can't find purchase. It's like trying to plug a European appliance into an American socket. It just doesn't connect.
But I can hear someone listening thinking, okay, but doesn't that just mean building walls when I seem cold or closed off?
Yeah.
How do you balance sovereignty with connection?
That's the crucial point, the paradox. If unbreakable meant being rigid and hard, then yes, it would mean walls, isolation. But true unbreakability, the kind we're talking about, is actually about finding authentic flexibility.
Flexibility, how so?
Think about a strong oak tree, like the sources mention. It survives storms not because its rigid things snap. It survives because its roots are deep, providing stability, but its trunk and branches can bend with the wind.
Ah, okay. So strength is in the resilience, the ability to adapt without breaking.
Exactly. Deep roots, flexible trunk. This allows her to be soft without being weak, gentle without being a doormat, loving without being dependent or losing herself.
The stronger the roots, the more flexibility you have above ground.
Perfectly said. And the really beautiful part of this shift is how it plays out energetically. The law of attraction, or maybe just coherence, kicks in. Meaning the universe, or just reality, seems to wait for you to truly value yourself before it sends people who reflect that value back. It's like you have to set the frequency first.
So radiate completeness, attract completeness.
That's the equation. Radiate self-love, attract genuine love. Radiate peace, attract peaceful relationships. You stop chasing what you think you lack and start attracting what you are. Energy matches energy.
And this inner strength, this rootedness, it actually makes real vulnerability possible. It removes the need for walls.
Yes, because think about it. You only need defensive walls if you're afraid something precious can be stolen or damaged.
If your self-worth depends on the other person's reaction.
Then you can't risk being truly open, can you? But when your sense of self, your peace, your value, when that's generated internally and isn't up for grabs,
then there's nothing to steal.
Exactly. Your core is untouchable. Your internal home is secure. So you can open the doors, be vulnerable, connect authentically without the fear of being devastated by their response. Vulnerability becomes a choice made from strength, not a risk taken from fear.
So with this inner shift, the way a woman even talks about love must change completely. The whole narrative shifts.
Oh, definitely. The old language is full of scarcity, isn't it? Looking for love like it's something lost, needing a partner to complete you, seeing relationships as trophies waiting to be picked.
Right. Passive language.
Very passive. The new language is active, intentional. It's about sharing a life, accompanying someone, creating together. Choosing and being chosen, yes, but from a place of fullness, of abundance, not desperation.
So love stops being about possession or filling a hole.
And becomes about expansion, mutual growth, like tending a garden together rather than fighting a battle or winning a prize.
And this comes from letting go of needing certain outcomes, from non-attachment.
Precisely. When you release that tight grip on needing guarantees, will this last forever? Does he really love me? When you stop trying to control the future, you suddenly become free to just be in the present.
Enjoy the process.
Enjoy the connection, the moment, fully. The fear of loss dissolves. And paradoxically, when you're not afraid of losing love, you can actually give it more freely, more generously, without hidden agendas or keeping score. Dropping control leads to real freedom.
That's huge. And what about solitude? For so many, solitude feels like failure, like a punishment.
Historically, yes, it's been painted as this awful vacuum, and that fear has pushed so many people, women especially, to stay in unhealthy, unhappy, even abusive situations just to avoid being alone.
But from this new place of inner sovereignty.
Solitude transforms. It stops being an empty void you're desperately trying to fill and becomes, well, a sacred space.
Sacred how?
It becomes a presence, not an absence. It's the quiet space where you can finally hear yourself think, feel your own feelings, reconnect with your own desires, your own essence. Remember who you are underneath all the noise.
So it's nutritive, not depleting.
Deeply nutritive. And from that place of comfortable solitude, of wholeness, the way you approach partnership changes entirely.
Because you're not looking for a rescuer or someone to complete you anymore.
Right, you're already complete. Now you might look for someone to complement that completeness, someone to share your fullness with, to celebrate life alongside. It's choosing from plenitude, not from lack.
And that authentic wholeness, that lack of neediness, that's what's truly magnetic.
It really is. It's not a technique, not a game. It's just a light, a calm confidence that doesn't need to boast or compete. It just is like a deep, still lake. And that kind of authentic presence is compelling. It draws people in without trying.
Okay, as we bring this together, let's really nail down what we mean by true strength in this context. It's clearly not about being tough or shutting down emotion.
No, not at all. True strength isn't the absence of fear. It's feeling the fear and acting with integrity anyway. It's not avoiding pain. It's having the capacity to move through pain without losing your center, without betraying yourself.
And fundamentally, it's being able to meet your own needs.
That's critical. Meeting your own emotional needs, your psychological needs, knowing you can provide that for yourself without depending on someone else to deliver it, that's real power.
Which brings us back to that queen versus beggar idea, the difference between needing and having.
Exactly. The beggar pleads for scraps because she feels she has nothing. The queen gives freely because she knows her source of wealth, her inner worth, her love is abundant, infinite.
So, loving like a queen.
Means loving generously without needing anything back in return, without conditions, without keeping score. It comes from fullness, not from lack.
But importantly, the goal isn't to become some isolated island, right? It's not about fierce independence, meaning you don't need anyone.
Absolutely not. That's a common misconception. The aim isn't isolation. It's healthy interdependence. Think of a thriving ecosystem. Everything supports everything else, but each element is whole in itself.
Not two broken halves trying to make a whole.
No, that's codependency. This is two whole, sovereign individuals choosing to create something beautiful together. You choose connection. You don't need it for survival. Big difference.
And the ripple effect of one person making this internal shift, it's powerful, isn't it? It impacts everyone around them.
It's profound. Her transformation becomes this silent, potent invitation. She doesn't need to preach or try to fix anyone.
She inspires by being.
Like a flower blooming, exactly. Her authenticity, her peace.
Mm.
It naturally encourages others, partners, kids, friends to maybe look at their own patterns, to consider their own potential for wholeness. The revolution is quiet. She saves herself, and in doing so, lights a path for others. She stops chasing love and simply becomes love.
That's the legacy.
That's the real legacy. And maybe the final, most important point for everyone listening, this awakening, this remembering of your wholeness, it's not tied to some future event.
Not when you hit the promotion or lose the weight or find the partner.
No. The moment is now. That complete, unbreakable woman you've been searching for out there, hoping someone else would see her and validate her. She's been inside you all along, waiting.
It's a remembering, not a becoming.
It's a remembering, and it's often gradual. So be kind to yourself, be patient. That earlier version of you, she did the absolute best she could with the tools and understanding she had at the time. She was just trying to survive.
That's a powerful reframe.
Yeah.
So the final truth is that when you look back, the moments that will truly matter aren't the times someone else chose you. They're the times you chose yourself.
Yeah.
You are already enough, already whole, already unbreakable. You just need to remember it.
Exactly. We really hope this deep dive has resonated, maybe sparked some recognition of your own inner completeness. If it did, if you found value here, we'd be so grateful if you could show some support. Hit the like button, subscribe to Relationship Psychology so you don't miss future explorations.
Yeah, subscribe for more deep dives into this stuff.
And maybe share this with someone you think needs to hear this message today. That really helps us reach more people.
And we genuinely love hearing from you.
Yeah.
Your questions, your insights, they shape what we do here. So if there's a specific topic, maybe something about attachment styles or self-worth or the nitty-gritty neuroscience of relationships that you want us to unpack next,
Please leave a comment below. Tell us what you're curious about, what you want us to tackle in a future deep dive.
we read them all. Until next time, keep choosing yourself, keep expanding.